Hello, Morongo Basin and listeners around the world online at Z107.7fm.com. Here is the Z107.7 local news for Wednesday, February 22nd, 2023. Miss Yucca Valley and Court were introduced at last night's Yucca Valley Town Council meeting. Board Chair and 3rd District Supervisor Don Rao presented a county update and gave a special tribute to Bob Armstrong, a longtime resident, and presented him with a flag flown over the state capitol in homage to him. Reporter Hillary Sloan will tell you more about last night's packed and informative meeting.
Board Chair and 3rd District Supervisor Don Rao said King of the Hammers is now finished, but had kicked up dust and mud. The race promoter gave funds to the improvement associations to help lessen the impact. Next, staff reviewed the Asik Park survey, which had 371 responses and closed in December. Upgrades to be incorporated into the design for the park are shade elements, more playground features, additional water fountains, paving the walking path, lighting improvements, and grass was very important to residents. All suggestions and comments were considered and will be used to draft a design plan. The council also discussed regulations for the town-wide mural program, which will be developed and brought to the Planning Commission. For more information, see this story at Z107.7fm.com. For Z107.7, this is reporter Hillary Sloan.
$15,000 to $20,000 worth of fencing was reported stolen in 29 Palms this weekend. At approximately 2:15 p.m. on Saturday, sheriff's deputies received a report that an unknown number of suspects were stealing fencing from a property near the intersection of 2 Mile Road and Shoshone Valley Road in 29 Palms. The reporting party told deputies that they saw suspects loading the fence into a vehicle, but the witness declined to say how many suspects were involved or to describe them to deputies. Tire tracks were located and identified at the scene of the incident, but because the property is in an area with few neighbors, surveillance footage is unlikely to be obtained, and there are currently no leads. Anyone with information regarding this incident is urged to contact the Morongo Basin Station at 760-366-4175. Callers wishing to remain anonymous are urged to call the WeTip hotline at 1-800-78-CRIME or leave information on the WeTip website at wetip.com. Tonight, the 29 Palms Water District Board of Directors will gather to discuss, among other things, the board's compensation package. Reporter Heather Clisby joins us with a look at tonight's agenda.
Tonight, the 29 Palms Water District Board of Directors will hold their monthly meeting at district headquarters. The agenda includes a public hearing on setting compensation for board members and establishing an expense and use of public resources policy. Once members of the public weigh in, the board will consider a resolution to set the policy. The board will also discuss and likely approve a resolution to amend their contract with the Board of Administration, California Public Employees Retirement System. Collections for unpaid water bills will also be on the agenda. The monthly meeting will also include reports from management and updates on maintenance, water quality, and finance. The board meeting will take place at district offices 72401 Hatch Road at 4 p.m. on Wednesday, February 22nd. Residents can also view the meeting online from the district's website at 29palmswater.net. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Heather Clisby.
Art lovers. A brand new arts festival with a focus on 2D and 3D art will make its debut in Joshua Tree Sunday, February 26th. Arts and entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas says it's time to get down and rusty.
Fans of desert art and sculpture will have another reason to rejoice as a brand new arts festival will make its debut on Sunday, February 26th. The first annual Rust Fest will feature 2D and 3D art exhibitions, live music, food and drink at the fabulous Simi Daba Sculpture Garden at 4th Street and Sunfair in Joshua Tree. Rusty art by Ben Alanoff, as well as 9 acres of Simi Daba sculptures will be on display, and much more. Live music by Sweet Beast, Carl Jung, and the Sound Machine. Bratwursts by the Wurstwagen, and spirits from Joshua Tree Distilling Company will be available. The event is free and open to the public. The first annual Rust Fest will run from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. on Sunday, February 26th. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Arts and Entertainment reporter Charlie Thomas.
Residents opposing the proposed resort development in Wonder Valley, the Wonder Inn, should note an important deadline today. Reporter Heather Clisby rejoins us with a look at that deadline.
Since inception, the Wonder Inn, a proposed 106-room resort along Amboy Road in Wonder Valley, has faced intense pushback from locals. Stop the Wonder Inn Project, an organized group of such locals, is asking concerned residents to send letters to the county to demand a full environmental impact report. The deadline for those letters is today at 4:30 p.m. To do that, you can find a link in the story at Z107.7fm.com. Though the county released initial study documents on January 17th that took no issue with the project, locals are not satisfied with the findings. Residents cite threats of noise and light pollution, destruction of desert wildlife, and dangerous traffic along a dark two-lane road. There are also wide concerns about tapping an already stressed water source, as well as straining emergency rescue and law enforcement. Additionally, the developers are currently advertising the sale of lots with 24 luxury villa homes, which would be built on the remaining 113.4 acres adjacent to the project. The developers did not mention plans for the new homes in their initial study. Reporting for Z107.7, this is Heather Clisby.
A wet winter with even more rain forecasted this week means that there's going to be a lot of extra greenery sprouting out of the desert. Backyard relaxer Robert Hayden joins us with a look at what to look for when you start weeding.
To the hopes of Instagrammers everywhere, a super bloom is rumored to be heading to the high desert this spring. Just the thought of my backyard filled with flowers has me pausing on weeding too aggressively, as it's been about 3 years since it was blanketed with the bright yellow and pale purple wildflowers that come with wetter weather in the winter. There are, however, a few easy-to-spot weeds that are good to grab early, as they are invasive to the Mojave Desert and can choke out our native species, as well as become a fire danger in the hotter summer months. London Rocket and Sahara Mustard are both easy-to-spot invasive weeds. They have big leafy bases and seed pods that jut out at a 45-degree angle, and they aren't particularly attractive even when they do flower. When pulling these, especially if they are larger and established, be sure to grab near the base and give it a gentle shake to pull the roots right out of the ground. Red brome and Mediterranean grass are also an eyesore, in this amateur landscaper's opinion, and not only pose a threat to native flowers while they are green, they quickly go to seed and dry during the summer months and can ignite and spread wildfire quicker, as Yucca Valley saw in last year's elk fire, which was accelerated by the burning of non-native grasses. A hula hoe can make quick work of both types of grasses, especially if you catch it early before it spreads. When disposing of invasive weeds, be sure to bag them in trash or yard waste bags as the seeds spread easily. We'll have pictures and links of the invasive weeds mentioned at this story on our website, Z107.7fm.com. Reporting for Z107.7 News, this is Robert Hayden.
The Copper Mountain College men's and women's Fighting Cacti basketball 2022-2023 regular season has concluded. For the season, the Fighting Cacti men's team had a 17-12 record with a 13-3 record in Inland Empire Athletic Conference competition. The Fighting Cacti women's team had a 7-17 overall record with a 7-7 record in Inland Empire Athletic Conference competition. The Fighting Cacti men's team begins their postseason playoff games in the Southern California Regional Playoffs tonight against the Cerritos College Falcons at Cerritos in Norwalk. And finally, the 29 Palms High School Lady Wildcats traveled to Xavier Prep yesterday and came away with a 10-2 win, improving their record to 2-4. Jenica Silvas pitched 7 innings with 9 strikeouts and 2 walks. At the plate, Silvas went 3-5 with a home run and double. Silvas also received all tournament awards last weekend in Palm Springs. Gabby Wonderly had a hit, a walk, and 1 RBI. Olivia and Ryan went 4-5 at the plate with a run scored. Alicia Villanueva went 2-5 with a double and a single and a run scored. The Wildcats play their next game tomorrow at home. That's our local news. Hear local news 7 times a day, 7 days a week at 7, 8, 9, noon, 4, 5, and 6. More Morongo Basin residents get their local news from Z107.7 than any other source. Reporting for the Morongo Basin News Leader, the award-winning Z107.7 Local News, I'm Jeff Harmatz.